But it's been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing so well. My most favorite day of the week, Sunday. I absolutely love Sunday mornings. I always have very slow Sunday mornings because during the week, when I go to the office, I wake up at 5 and it's always go because I have to be out the door by 6. Saturdays, mostly I run errands, so it's really a day of relaxation. So a Sunday morning for me is the perfect time to slow down and just show myself some love and self-care. And this is how I do it. This is what speaks to a self-care kind of day or morning for me. Now, I go to church every Sunday, so that is actually also part of my self-care. There's so much peace I get from just being in the presence of God with other saints. But before I head out, I like to just take it slow and easy and not have to rush anything. So here's how I spend my Sunday mornings. So peaceful, so serene. I just love it. I don't know if I should actually call this a routine because I've never really considered myself a person of routine. However, I think this is actually a routine because this is what I do every single Sunday. Well, minus getting the kids ready, of course, when Lebu is around. This routine really helps me take in the beauty of the morning. It helps me to just reflect on the past week and the week to come. It helps me to just be mindful, and to nourish my body and my soul. It really sets the tone for the new week. Although there are a couple of things I do that might seem like chores, but because I do them while taking my time, it really relaxes me. And when I know that everything is planned out, I'm more relaxed. So waking up early really helps me get everything done without a rush. Otherwise, I'd be flustered and I'll be thinking about things like, did I switch off the stove when I'm at church? I'm such a planner and organizer at heart. I just love orderly things because it really helps me relax and take it easy. So this routine gives me the comfort I need to really start my day. There are so many benefits to being organized. It reduces stress and anxiety. It increases productivity. It improves your focus so you don't have to keep wondering if, in fact, you did switch off the stove. So I want to encourage you today to find a day that works for you in the midst, of us being so busy all the time. To just step back and relax. Even when you are performing some light chores, give yourself enough time so you don't rush everything, which will lead you to feeling frustrated. We all have different things that relaxes us. So I'm challenging you to be intentional about experiencing those moments. With this video, I'm trying to say, even when there are things to do, I still find peace in some of my to-dos. It's not all so bad. Just think about how you're always rushing, how you're always late. Wouldn't you like to be the girl of your dreams this year and just be on time for meetups, to work, to church? All this doesn't just happen. There's a lot of intention and effort that has to go into it. So decide this year that you will make an effort into improving yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally, and otherwise, however that might look like for you. These are the little things that really contribute towards our quality of life. Imagine getting to church, you're already distracted because maybe you burnt your favorite skirt in the morning because you're in such a hurry, as opposed to being organized and getting your clothes ready either the night before or very early in the morning so you have everything you need and ready to go. So, Mtase, be the girl of your dreams this year and see how that will just elevate you. So I hope this video will help you and I hope it will inspire you to also just take it easy, and relax and not always be in such a hurry and be in such a rush and literally give yourself 30 minutes to prepare, which is not possible, and which it has been proven by yourself many times that it is not possible. Um, so yeah, I hope this is really motivating you to also level up. I wanted to do a voiceover where I'm basically just, saying what I'm doing and taking you through what I'm actually doing. But then I thought of something else. Something popped in my mind. And it is a scripture that I was reading the other day. I've been reading Exodus and I'm on 4 to 6 now. Some of the stories I'm familiar with, and you guys might also be familiar with them from, maybe when you've heard them at church or you've read them before on your Bible. But the specific one, or the specific story in Exodus, where God was speaking to Moses through a burning bush. And Moses had a lot of questions as to why God is sending him to Pharaoh. Things like, what if they don't believe that I've been sent by you? So he has this doubt, he's questioning the Lord. He said, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? And God responded and he said to Moses, I will be with you. Then Moses continues with the excuses and he says, but Lord, I'm slow to speech and tongue. Basically saying to the Lord, I can't speak well, as if God didn't know that, already before he sent him. And I'm sitting here thinking about all of this in context, like, how many times has God called me into something to take up space? And I have said with my actions or my lack of faith that, God, you know what, just get someone else to do it. You know, we may not verbally say it like Moses, but when God has a purpose for our lives and we lack the confidence to do the very thing that God has called us to do, we are quite literally saying to God, get someone else. We are basically questioning the Lord. Um, there is nothing else that needs to qualify us other than what the Lord has ordained us for, other than what the Lord has called us to do. There are so many things that in your heart you have to do. That the Lord has said, do this, but you have not done it. For many reasons, even though that God is with you, but your lack of faith is just basically saying to God, I can't do this. I just get somebody else to do it. Like, dude, I cannot do this. You're scared to apply for that position at work because you think someone else will be better suited for it. You think, well, this person has an MBA and I only have a degree, so they might not even take me, so you don't apply for the position. You're scared to buy that car because people in your family have told you installment yashaya sisi, but they've never owned cars, so how do they know? You're scared to get married because your parents got a divorce. You're scared to start your own business because people might not buy the product or might not believe in your service that you will be providing. So many excuses that will not even help you. If God said it, that's it. It is done. Go and take up space. God is with you. It doesn't matter that you can't speak well, that you don't have money, that you grew up without your parents. God is the only resource you need, and you need to start tapping into that. Um, I remember when I started my channel, I think I spoke about this briefly in the last vlog, but I remember when I started my channel back then, 4 years ago, and I did all these makeup videos. Oh, and they just looked so bad. And now when I look back at them, I'm like, oh. But also there's a thing of I started, even though I wasn't like the greatest at doing my makeup, I was only just learning. But it's one of those things that I just enjoyed and I loved very much. And so I thought, oh, let me teach other people who, don't know how to do their makeup. Not that I was obviously also great at the time, but it took a lot of practice for me to do my makeup the way that I do my makeup now, for example. And then later deciding that, oh, I would like to do a vlog actually. Um, and one day I was just sitting and thinking that, you know what? I've actually always wanted to be in the media space. Um, Even before like being an accountant, that was never really like the biggest thing that I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be in media, but I never really went for it because at the time I was thinking about I need to study something that will provide me with a stable job, that will provide me with a job that will offer me financial stability. That was basically the only thing that was on my mind at the time. And so I thought any other dream, any other passion, any other thing that I have that I want to do is secondary to this. But now that I'm older, now that I've gone through working and all of that, I told myself that there's no way that I'm gonna die without me tapping into this desire, this thing that I've always desired for the longest time. And in the first like couple of videos, and not even a couple, like many, many videos, a year later, literally a year ago now, I never thought I would be here. I mean, there's still a lot to achieve. And sometimes the anxiety of, oh, I only have like 1,000 views. I wish it was like 1.5. I wish it was like 2,000 views. Sometimes we do that. We achieve something, and when we achieve it, we think, oh, maybe it could be better. We don't actually take the time to look back and think, well, where do I come from? I've been sitting on like 200, 250 subscribers for the longest time. For the longest time, I've been sitting on like 100 views, 200 views, 250 at most for the longest time. And I wanted to give up so many times. So many times I wanted to give up, but I just kept going back to this is my dream. It might not look like the dream that I had back then, because I think back in our times, YouTube was not that popular. And I think mostly in South Africa, it wasn't like that popular. It wasn't a thing. But I just knew that I wanted to be in media, but I never really defined it in my head, or I never really had a strategy or a specific plan as to say, this is what I want to do in media. But as I grew up, as I was exposed to things, then I realized that, oh, actually YouTube might be a good starting point. Instagram might be a good starting point. So I persevered. I did it week in, week out, even when I felt like I'm doubting myself big time, because I'm thinking maybe the content I'm providing is not good enough. Maybe it's not enjoyable. Maybe it's not the one. Sometimes we do that. Sometimes we do that. We disqualify ourselves. We discredit ourselves. We don't give ourselves enough slack. We just give up too quickly. We just give up too quickly. So if you are there and you're thinking about giving up, and you're thinking about, what, throwing in the towel, I can't do this. I've been applying for years for this position. There are so many things that we want to achieve, and sometimes we want them to come quick. Sometimes we want them to happen now. Also because of our environment around us, we feel like, you know, our peers are achieving this and they're achieving that. They're getting married, they're getting jobs, they're getting this car, so it's easy to want to compare yourself with the next person because of that, because these things are like in front of you, and it looks as if you are not doing enough. It looks as if you are not pushing enough. But sometimes that's not necessarily the case. You need to be confident in what God has called you to do. And you know in your heart of hearts, if this is something that God has called you for, or if this is a desire, if this is a burning desire in your heart, you know that you know. So why are you giving up? Why are you throwing in the towel? And even though I'm saying this, I'm also encouraging myself with this, because I've also been faced with like wanting to give up, as in like, no, I can't do this anymore. I keep having 200 views week in, week out. And when you listen to a lot of creators, they always say, no, you need to post consistently, and I'm just sitting there thinking, that's what I'm doing. I've been posting consistently for a whole year. I've been posting consistently and I'm getting like 200 views. But now in retrospect, I'm thinking, you know what? I got 200 views consistently also. You know what I mean? That's one thing. I got 200 views consistently. So that was something that was a basis for me to keep building and building and building on. But also to encourage yourself to level up and do the things that you never thought you'd be able to do. You know, push yourself, push the boundaries. Don't be stuck in just one phase, one moment, one thing forever. You know, expose yourself to other things. Expose yourself to learning. I've had to learn a lot, especially with having a YouTube channel. Nobody guided me, nobody showed me anything. And, you know, in this industry, the information is so limited. Like, there isn't much that you get. Like, there isn't a lot of information that's freely available where you can just Google and get the information. Some of the things you have to really like scramble to get them. Um, and so I've had to do that as well. I've had to figure it out myself. I've had to teach myself, watch videos on how to edit because I never knew how to edit. So I had to sit down and investigate and do the research because I needed to level up. That was part of me leveling up. And last year, December, when I decided that, no, actually, you know what, let me post 2 videos a week because my goal is to actually reach 4,000 watch hours. That was my goal at the time. And I thought one of the ways for me to reach 4,000 watch hours is to let me post frequently. You know, I used to post once a week, but let me do it twice a week and see. And when I did that, you know, I saw that the channel grew. I saw that actually now I'm getting more views. My video is getting recommended to more people. And I thought, you know what, actually, let me level up, even in the new year, because initially when I did it, I thought I'm just doing it for Vlogmas. But then I thought, actually, let this be my thing. Let me level up. For the past year, I've been posting consistently every week without fail, even when I was pregnant, and I was pregnant for most of the time. Even though I had a baby, I was on maternity leave, I just given birth. I knew that that was gonna happen. So what did I do? I planned, I organized. I told myself, I know I'm gonna be sort of offline for a couple of weeks because one, I need to recover after giving birth. I need to take care of my newborn baby. So I recorded videos upfront, like 2 to 3 videos upfront that will just go live every week, so that I don't break that cycle of, oh well, you know, I just gave birth, and that's a valid excuse. It is a valid excuse. I'm pregnant. I'm going through the most, or well, I just gave birth, you know, so I need to take care of myself. It's a valid excuse, but the validity of that excuse will not take you to the next level. There's so many excuses that are valid. Like when Moses was saying to God, but God, I can't speak. How do you expect me to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let your people go? How do I, you know, take the children of Israel out of Egypt? How do I do it? Because you know I can't speak, you know? And that's a valid excuse when you look at it. But is it gonna help him? Is it because it's his calling? God called him to do that. You know, that was his calling. And God knew when he called him that he cannot speak. But he still said, you are going to do it. So, how many excuses have you made that you sit down and you think, well, you know, of course I didn't grow up with my parents. I grew up without parents. So, of course I didn't have one, two, three. You know, of course I don't have a degree. So, yeah, I mean, how am I supposed to have a good paying job? There's so many things. You know these things. You know the excuses that you make for not leveling up, for not getting to the next level. And I always say, I've got a 9 to 5 job that is hectic, but you know what? I'm leveling up. I choose to level up and post 2 videos a week, okay? I'm doing this. Come what may, I will find the time. I will not make excuses. I will do it. And so I'm also encouraging you to do it. Do it scared. Do it, you know, not even being sure. Just do it. Just do it because I promise you there's something on the other side. I look at like my subscribers now and it might not be obviously be something big for somebody else, but for me it is because I know where I come from. Like even when you buy a new apartment, you need to appreciate that. And even if there's no furniture in that apartment, appreciate it, because think about where you come from. Think about all the things that you never had. Like you never had your own bedroom, you never had your own space. You always had to share with like your siblings. You always had to um always have had like extra family around and all of that. So just appreciate what you have. Just appreciate what you have. And you will see that like things will literally fall into place. Things will come together. So I'm really, really, really encouraging you to go for it, level up, um, just put yourself out there. Put yourself out there and believe that God has definitely called you for something. There's no way that, you know, God just didn't call you for anything. You are just on this earth to just breathe and eat and sleep, and that's it. There's more to you than what it is now. There's really more to you. And sometimes all it takes is an effort from you. You need to make the effort. You need to put in the work. You need to make it happen for yourself. God is with you, whether you can speak or not, whether you think you have enough money to do it or not, whether you think, oh, well, but I don't have a husband, how can I do it? Whether you think, oh, but I can't have kids, how can I? No, you can do it. So be encouraged today to level up. Be encouraged to follow your dreams. Go for it, no matter how difficult. No one said it was going to be easy, but you can do it. God is with you always.